And on the downhill, oh my God, my favorite. First of all, 55 tooth chainring, which I think was an excellent choice. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back, Ryan.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Good to be back again.
Yeah, man. You're on a heater. This is the Mike's Bikes Cats Hill Classic. I am so excited to talk about this because, yes, the Mike's Bikes Cats Hill Classic. This is our race, man. This is in our backyard. This is right next to our Los Gatos location. And this course is something special. Let's talk about that for a minute. The defining feature is a block at, what, 23%?
Feels more than that sometimes.
So steep. Very difficult course. Really fast run into the finish that you have to get just right. And everyone's here. It's an important race, not just for us because it's our race, but you have Project 74. That's the specialized team you guys remember from Cherry Pie. You have Teirun Elite with the full squad also, Performance Bike, Alto Velo, San Jose Bicycle Club. The list continues, not to mention a couple of pros showed up. You have Tobin Ortenblad, who's a cyclocross pro, has won this race in the past. Nate English, who is a former pro, also former Team Mike's Bikes racer, has also won this race solo in the past, a guy to look out for. But us on Team Mike's Bikes, an important race for us to win. Ryan, what was our pre-race plan? How are we going to execute?
Well, we knew it was going to be a hard race, but coming off the win, I was going to go for the sprint, and we had RJ, who's also a strong sprinter, won at Cal Aggie earlier this year as a plan B on my wheel, and then the rest of the team chasing any breakaways, getting in a breakaway, and riding it if they felt good, or letting it come back if they didn't feel like they could win.
Yeah, so let's dive into some race footage and see how you guys executed. Okay, Ryan, we are 2 laps to go. That's right. We have cut right to the end because I really want to focus on what happens in these final 2 laps. It's so incredibly important to talk about your position. But up to this point, I mean, first of all, the field is what? We started at something, I don't know, 80 riders or something. We're down to probably 25. That's how hard of a race this is. And the team has been phenomenal. I mean, you can see Tim with the fluoro green shoes in front of you here was off the front for like a large portion of this race. Chris in front of him, same thing, doing so much work on the front, off the front. Unfortunately, RJ ran into a tree on like lap 3 or something like that. Fortunately, he's okay, but he was out of the picture for the sprint finish. So things are looking to come back together for a field sprint. A lot of the work is going to come down to you, Ryan. And then even you, up to this point, had done work off the front also, because that's the hallmark of good teamwork. Even as the sprinter, you sometimes have to mark attacks, follow attacks. But we're going to talk about your position these final couple laps. I'm going to pick your brain. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
So first of all, third wheel. Maybe a bit too close to the front coming up that hill.
It's a safe spot to be. I mean, we'd seen a couple crashes on the hill. It's tough to get a run at it. It felt nice and safe to be that far up.
And you got Chris in front of you, leading the path. That always feels pretty good. In front of him is Project 74 rider, which was at this point the major threat. And throughout the race, quite frankly, the major threat instigated a lot of breakaways. They have powerful breakaway and sprinters. Let's not sleep on Tobin, though, who's kind of lurking in the rear camera. Definitely a guy to look out for in the sprint finish. And you fall back a couple of spots here. Is that intentional?
Yeah, getting a little better draft coming down the hill and onto this front straight here.
So this is over 30 miles an hour into that final right-hander, and then if you pay attention, now that we're coming into 1 lap to go, there's only like 120 meters from that final corner to the finish line. So I think, and I was telling you this before the race, Ryan, I've won this race, and I did it first to the final corner. It is so important to be first to that final corner. It's just so hard to pass. So I want to break down 3 critical moments in this final lap that really made the difference between winning and losing this race. So the first one's going to come up here in a couple of seconds, and it's this move you make on the outside. Because we're coming back into the bottom of this 23% hill yet again. You are about to make a phenomenal move up the right-hand side. With 1 lap to go, like why make this effort? What are you doing, Ryan?
Well, I want to carry as much speed into the hill as I possibly can. I want to keep the Project 74 rider, Miles, on a short leash. And I'm still thinking back to our original plan, which involved me maybe going for the win from the top of the hill here. So I wanted to keep that option open.
Yeah, and I want you to pay attention to his power as he comes up. It looks like, Ryan, you made a lot of power, a lot of watts on this climb, But because you took that outside rip-in line into the bottom of the hill, conserved the momentum like you said, you didn't have to make those really big numbers until you're like already halfway up the hill, meaning you carried that speed over the top of the hill, latch onto Miles' wheel, and he gives you a decent lead out. He gives you a decent run before he looks back right here, realizes, whoops, that's not my sprinter. That's the wrong guy. Also, let's not forget this pass you made on Chris's right-hand side. And when I looked at that, I was, I was scared that Chris was going to accidentally shut the door on you, because that would have been race over.
I yelled out to Chris, and Chris keeps a cool head during a race, so I had faith he was going to let me through. He knew I was there.
And if we pop over to the drone footage, when you guys come over the crest of this hill, you're in Miles' draft, you have a gap on the field, like a few bike lengths. This looks pretty significant. Were you thinking about just nuking it from this moment?
I thought about going, and if I'd had RJ still in the field, if that tree hadn't taken him out earlier, I might have sent it right there. But with me being the last one there, I didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, that's a scary move. And like you said, I mean, if RJ was just sitting on Tobin's wheel, that would have been so perfect. But kept a cool head. Things stayed together and then kind of slowed down for a moment. And that's when Tayroon decided, now's our time. And this was such a well-timed attack from them. But you didn't skip a beat, and then you follow it on the outside as they come up the inside, which I'm gonna mark this as moment number 2, one of the most critical moments in this race. You decided on the outside to follow them, and tell me your thought process there.
Yeah, great move by Tayroon going into that second to last corner. I had my wheel on the left side of Miles in front of me, so it wasn't an option to jump on that train. I had to hit the gas and get back up with the front of the race.
Miles is strong, but Miles wasn't their field sprinter for the day, so it's good to recognize that. It's probably not a good idea to sit behind him anymore, because he's probably going to drop anchor if he realizes that the Team Mike's Bike sprinter's on his wheel, as he should. You really don't want to get boxed in. It's smart to make this move on the outside like you did. And on the downhill, oh my God, my favorite. First of all, 55-tooth chainring, which I think was an excellent choice. And also, you're not content just to sit third wheel. Maybe the voice of NorCal Cycling was echoing in your subconscious, first to the last corner. This is the final, and I think the most key moment that secured you this win, was your move on the right side here to take the front with less than 200 meters to go.
Yeah, there's just no time to pass after you come out of the corners. If you can get to that first corner first, you've got a real good chance at winning the race. And I do take notes when I watch NorCal Cycling videos. And there's one thing I learned, it's getting to that last corner first.
Oh, this was so fun to watch, man. So yeah, you take a rip-in line through this final corner. You have a passenger, and it's not just any passenger. It's Tobin. It's just so hard to pass. I mean, we timed this out. You take that final corner, it's about 120 meters. You have a 7 seconds between that final corner and the finish line. Now, imagine Tobin is making 1,500 watts, some crazy amount of power. In order to make up more than a bike length at that speed in just 7 seconds, I mean, what do you think, Ryan? Like, you would have to basically stop pedaling in order to lose. And that's why it's so important to hit that last corner first. And if there's somebody to show you how to do it, here's your man right here, taking down the well-deserved win for our home race. Dude, I was so pumped. I could not control I was at the finish line with my camera, and watching you cross, I was so excited for you, man.
This was a fun one. I was grateful to deliver the win for the team, for the home race in the backyard. Great race course, and just a really, really fun race.
Special one, man. And you're setting the bar high, because now all you do is win. That's all we're going to expect from you. So let's see if you can carry that tradition and take that into Santa Cruz.
No pressure.
That'll be the next one. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Ryan, thanks for coming onto the channel.
Thanks, man.
Talk to you in the next one.